Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in for today's webinar. And today's topic is why your ABM fails without LinkedIn ads. Okay, so if you are into B2B marketing, B2B sales, and if you're doing account-based marketing, this is a very important webinar for you. This is a very important workshop for you in which I'm going to lay down why it is so important to run LinkedIn ads, apart from all the outreach and the LinkedIn outreach and the email outreach and the account-based marketing strategies that you are putting in, right? A lot of businesses that I have worked with, they are not aware of how to use ABM LinkedIn ads effectively. Even if they are running LinkedIn ads, they are just running LinkedIn ads the way they run Google ads. That means they will just go ahead and create a campaign and then just keep it running. But LinkedIn ad is so much more than that. And today we're going to talk about how LinkedIn ad is A, super useful for account-based marketing, and B, how is it different than, say, a traditional platform like Google. Okay. So, for everybody who are not aware of me, my name is Ritesh Osta. I'm the founder of Insight Tap, and I'm also one of the top-rated Fiverr Pro seller. With that, let's talk about why your ABM needs LinkedIn ads and what is the bridge between the data, the ads, and the revenue, right? Okay, so let's get started. The ABM gap. ABM stands for account-based marketing. So why, who needs ABM? All the B2B companies, the large enterprise companies, the large tech companies who have a very, very niche target audience, and they want to target only, say, for example, Fortune 100 companies or Fortune 5,000 companies, or companies within a certain sector and industry, and they have a very, very targeted list of audience they want to reach out to. They are the ones who actually does ABM. ABM means account-based marketing. That means you target a list of accounts and then find people within those accounts, and then you do marketing to those accounts, right? Okay, so traditionally, most of the ABM campaigns, they are good at detective interest, but they fail at activation. So that means you make a list of accounts and then you send a blast email or a LinkedIn message. Most of the companies, they are good with it, but they don't get a lot of response, right? In terms of activation, in a sense that getting the right kind of response, getting a prospect, getting customers, deal, that is where the real challenges lies. The CRM data that they are holding never translates into ad precision. What do I mean by that? Most of these large tech companies or large businesses, B2B businesses, they have a large CRM data, sometimes running into thousands and hundreds of thousands of contacts, prospects, deals, visitors and whatnot, right? But they never make use of them very effectively, right? All they do is sometimes, they just send a newsletter and then that's pretty much it. Even that data can be very usefully used to A, convert existing prospects into customer, and B, finding new customer which are similar to the ones which are there in your database. So that is never used very effectively for most of the businesses that I have worked with. Okay. So email SDR outreach cannot scale. As you can see, email SDR outreach, especially LinkedIn outreach, cannot scale to a large number. So most of the SDR, they just send a bunch of emails by themselves, or they send a bunch of LinkedIn messages, and that's pretty much it. When it comes to outreach for most of the businesses, but that cannot scale to a large extent because email and LinkedIn outreach both has limitations. Especially LinkedIn has a lot of limitations in terms of how many connections you can send or how many messages that you can send. Ads reach people, not accounts. So ads also is super good when you are running the ABM campaigns. You are just creating some targeted ad campaign which reaches the people but not really the account. The meaning behind it is that you're not targeted towards certain accounts, correct? For example, if you run a LinkedIn ads or a Google ads around certain keywords or certain industry, it will basically find everybody in that particular industry and try to show the ad. It is not going to be very specific to certain accounts or certain companies. It's not going to be that, right? In many ways. Okay, and LinkedIn ads bridge this visibility and intent gap. So we'll talk more about how LinkedIn ad can be a bridge between the accounts and you, and how it can act like a bridge, right? So that's the gap of ABM. It's a huge gap. A lot of B2B businesses, in terms of their GTM strategies and their ABM strategies, they are lacking on so many different areas. And today we are going to talk about how LinkedIn ads can play a very crucial role in bridging this gap. Okay, so this is the gap. So the lead, list, silence, lost intent. Correct. So a lot of businesses, they are good with making a cold lead database, creating a list out of it in HubSpot and other tools. Okay, sending them outreach emails and LinkedIn messages, but what they get in return most of the time is just silence and then lost intent, right? So this is where the ad activation layer can be added in. So if you're sending them email message, if you're sending them LinkedIn outreach message, why not, also run an ads to target them? Just think about it. It makes common sense, right? But I see most businesses not leveraging this opportunity to add ads, LinkedIn ads, in specifically as an activation layer. Okay. Activation layer means activate those prospects to become customers or a deal. Okay, so why traditional ABM falls short? Okay, relies on static list instead of live intent. That's number one point. So most of the sales business development people, they are just making a cold list and then sending them emails and LinkedIn messages. No intent, no tracking, no signals. They're not doing any of it most of the times. Outreach is isolated from ad targeting. That means ad is doing something, reaching out to some audience. Outreach is doing something, reaching out to some audience. The reason for that primarily is the siloed team and response from marketing team and sales team. Outreach is generally controlled by the sales team. Ads are generally controlled by the marketing team. These two teams are generally very siloed in their approach. They work as separate units, and they do different things, and there's no amalgamation, there's no intersection between the work that they do, and that is the number one reason as to why traditional ABM fails. Okay, marketing to sales handoff lacks closed loop sync. So marketing is doing something, but sales is doing something else. There is no handoff going on, there is no sync going on, and there's no closed loop between marketing and sales team. That's also one of the major reasons why traditional ABM fails. And missing activation layers to reach in-market buyers, right? That means, there's a shortage of activation layer. You're sending the message, you're sending the emails, but what if, you are running ads and you're engaging them, right? That activation layer is missing in many ways, right? Reaching out to people when they need things the most, right? And that can only be done if you effectively use multi-channel approach. That is, email, LinkedIn, text, ads, all together, working together, can create that kind of scenario by which you will be able to create a layer of activation on top of the outreach that you are doing. Without LinkedIn, ABM remains half-blind. Yes, absolutely. So LinkedIn is super important. LinkedIn messaging is super important, but also I sincerely feel LinkedIn ads, if used effectively, can create a vision, a long-term vision for your campaigns. And if you're not using it, then practically you are half-blind in many ways. Okay. All right. So in terms of visual, the intent data, CRM upload, no activation, missed opportunity. Correct. So many other companies, they are just uploading the intent data. For example, bunch of companies who just have an M&A acquisition or a funding. Okay, so you will go ahead and you'll find all the startup who got funding last year in this particular industry. Good. And you will, upload it to CRM or outreach tool, and then you're going to send an email. Hey, got a funding. So maybe you need financial services or financial advisory. Okay, we are there. Okay, but that's pretty much it, right? There's no activation, right? Imagine you are running ads on top. and showing your case studies, and showing your capabilities, and showing the fact that you're running ads, and you're there in the market for a long time. You cannot do so much with your emails and messages. At max, you can send 2 3 emails, and one or two messages. That's pretty much it. And even that is going to take a lot of time and effort to do that. And the people will just see your email, and then they will forget about it, and they will move on in their life, but they will keep seeing your ads. Okay. And at some point of time, they might, after seeing your ads like 10 times, they might go back to their inbox and reply to their email. That is what I'm talking about. If you think about it, it's pretty common sense, but it's not used across industry for various reasons, right? So there is no activation layer in between, and we will talk about the activation layer using LinkedIn ads. And that is creating missed opportunities for your business, right?